Hey, I'm Alyssa Camargo, and I videotaped the experiment and wrote up our final report.
Hey, what's up? This is Amy Musa. I dropped the money.
Hi, I'm Emily Allum, and I recorded the data and made the poster.
Hi, I'm Darylyn Anderson, and I'm the editor-in-chief.
And this is our project, Mo Money, Mo Problems. Here are our observations.
Drop it, there's people following you, Amy!
Oh my gosh,
Like any good research project, we ran into some initial problems early on. Our first idea for our project was to determine whether the amount printed on the bill played a role in whether people returned the money, so we were going to use a $1 versus $20 bill. However, we soon discovered that people only looked at the amount printed on the bill after they made the decision to give it back or not. Then we were just going to look at the whole population in general, but we discovered that by splitting it up between the females and males, we got more interesting data results and easier calculations. So our final research question was to determine whether money was returned equally between males and females at Granada High. So we decided to outline our research project in the following manner to ensure the most reliable results possible. First, we designated roles to each member in our group so that this would remain constant and could not influence the data. I was the video recorder, Amy was the money dropper, Emily recorded the results, and Darylyn put the video together. In order to best simulate an SRS of the Granada High population, we conducted data collection on many different locations around campus and at a variety of times, before and after school and during every passing period. Amy would walk around campus past a group or individual and drop the money, while Alyssa and Emily were observing at a distance to ensure that their presence did not alert the subjects to the nature of the experiment. After 2 weeks of data collection, making sure to observe on at least one Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we had our results. Here's our final data table, courtesy of Emily. We had a total of 32 boys respond, with 22 of them returning the money and 10 not, and 30 girls responding, with an even split of 15 returning and 15 not returning the money. These two graphs display the distribution of people who returned the money for girls and boys. Clearly, boys had a higher percentage return the money. Alrighty, so here's our combined data for the percentages of girls and boys who return the money. Clearly, boys are slightly higher. So here's our numerical analysis for the distribution of girls and boys. The girls' mean for returning was 15, and their standard deviation was 0, while the boys' mean was 16, and their standard deviation was 8.385. We elected to do a chi-squared test of association because we took one large sample initially and then split them up into the category of boys and girls after our data collection was completed. Our null hypothesis was that the distribution of the proportion of those who returned the money was equal between girls and boys. Our alternative hypothesis was that the distribution of the proportion of those who returned the money varied in some way between girls and boys, and we chose a significance level of 0.05. So here we have our expected counts.
That's all?
Our next step was to determine if we had the appropriate conditions met. So, although we tried our best to replicate an SRS of Granada, we still have to proceed with caution in regards to expanding our findings to the total population. All of our expected counts were greater than 5, and thus all were greater than 0, so we can safely assume that our sample size is large enough to perform a chi-squared test. So here are our calculations. Our chi-squared value turned out to be 2.2622, and our p-value, which should be with 1 degree of freedom, was 0.1326. Based on our chi-squared test, we failed to reject our null hypothesis because the p-value, 0.1326, was greater than our significance level of 0.05. Thus, we do not have enough evidence to conclude that the proportion of females who return dropped money versus the proportion of males who do is different. Had we found statistical evidence that there was a difference, we would have conducted a 2-proportion z-test to estimate this difference, but doing so here would not have given us any real results. If this observational study were to be repeated, obtaining a student body list from the office and performing a large SRS would allow the results to be better generalized to the entire population. And if we wanted to discover more information about the students of the Tri-Valley area, we could repeat the study at schools from both Dublin and Pleasanton, as well as including Livermore High. From our project, we learned that Granada is a fairly helpful campus, and we can rest assured that if we drop some change in the ground, it is more than likely going to be returned.
And thank you for watching Mo Money, Mo Problems, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And that concludes our project.